Shoya Chiba made his solo debut with Blessing, his first EP, on January 17th, 2024, and honestly this is one of the best EPs or one of the best CDs or debut CDs I've ever heard, period. And maybe the video should wrap up in this part, but I'm going to continue because I want to talk about this CD. So let's talk about the good points about this CD. First off, as you start to listen this EP, you will understand easily that Shoya Chiba is actually doing everything. He's giving 110% in his performances, something that usually Seiyuu, especially male Seiyuu, after or when they debut, their very first CD is usually a safe bet. I've said that countless times. If it's actually your first time here on this channel, you won't understand that, but of course, this is something that I say a lot of times, is that a debut CD is okay to be safe, to sound safe, to not be daring. But in this case, Shoya Chiba actually made the debut already sounding like a veteran, so this is really amazing. And as I was listening to it, I felt myself getting increasingly excited about it, because it's not every day that you get a Seiyuu artist, especially one that is just debuting, this confident and especially this mature as an artist. Not mature because the songs sound mature, but mature as in maturity as an artist. It seems as though he has done that, basically being a singer for his whole life, when in fact he actually has only been a big feature with 2D music projects since 2016, 2017, and he only imploded in popularity around 2020. So he has, let's say, not as much experience as you would have thought that would warrant him already to sound like a veteran, but here it is, and in Blessing he already sounds like a veteran. It is crazy how good he sounds in this EP. So the very first really good point about this EP is that Shoya Chiba didn't spare anything or nor anyone in this EP. He's doing his best in this EP, and that's incredibly valuable. It already sets the tone for what he will be releasing soon or next, and already raises the bar quite a lot for him, whereas other artists usually raise the bar only for their second or third album. He already is doing that in his very first CD. And I'm not even going to say an EP, because not many Seiyuu artists make a debut with an EP. It's way too ambitious, it's usually more complex to create, it usually has a concept, and in this case Shoya Chiba actually has everything in there. The concept, of course, is to thank everyone for supporting him and giving him the chance to make a solo debut, hence Blessing, and he does make sure that you feel that throughout the CD. This is really cool. Another good point in the CD, it is rock music. Thank God it is rock music, and we have an exception, of course. You will be thinking, but Vanessa, there is an exception. I know. We will be talking about that exception because that's one of the good points in this CD. The CD has 5 songs, 4 of those are rock music. One of those is Space Disco, which is an odd entry in this EP, but interestingly enough, it is the perfect intermission, the turning point within this CD. It serves really a good purpose within this CD. So we have 5 songs, 4 are rock music, 1 is Space Disco. This is a really good balance. This shows, of course, Shoya Chiba's roots, his influences, the kind of music that he loves, and is actually making an effort, and really, not necessarily an effort, is actually showing that he is really good and he loves that type of music, thus he can replicate it or even create it for you. The CD features 2 songs, of course, written by Shoya Chiba, which is the next big point in this CD. The third big reason why I love this CD is because it has already 2 songs written by Shoya Chiba. He wrote lyrics to I'll Be and Blessing, the first and the last song in this CD. This already shows his intentions of opening and closing the album with a personal touch. This is yet again something that usually male Seiyuu artists do not do for their debut EP. Some even don't even do that now that they are with 5-10 years of career. They still do not do that. So he's already doing something completely different. So he wanted a personal touch and he added a personal touch. I love that it is the first and the last song in this CD, which makes it all come full circle. Then the fourth element that I want to bring in here, it's that we have space disco, the stylish type that is really down-tempo, really fun and really groovy. I found myself instantly loving this song. I didn't need much more than 20 seconds into it to actually love it. And the fifth big reason that I'm in love with this EP is that Shoya Chiba actually went all in with his vocals. He's doing everything you can think of, minus of course Screamo, which is another thing that he does really really well with Erosion, but he's not doing this right here. He's actually doing a little bit of everything on the vocal end. He's doing legato, awesome legato for the very first 2 songs, and actually midway through he's also adding that. And he actually brings in a lot of falsetto to his performances. He starts I'll Be with some falsetto going on in there, which for a very first impression, and especially if you are coming across him for the very first time, this is already showing, or he is already showing that he is really really confident. You don't just blast falsetto here and there if you are not confident about it. So that's really really awesome. In some songs there is a little bit of a hint of vibrato going on in there. It's not necessarily something that he has a lot or that is really akin to his voice color and his technique, but he also makes the effort to add a little bit of vibrato, but not something that is necessarily booming. So do not expect booming vibrato in here, but expect a little bit of a tremolo going on in there. Smooth, but does the trick of adding some flair to the notes. So this is quite amazing. The sixth reason why I love this EP is that it is cohesive. I feel a story going on through these 5 songs. It really helps that the start and the end have a personalized touch, because you know that Shoya Chiba created those songs with a purpose, and that purpose ended up tying the EP perfectly. At least for me, it tied the EP perfectly. Now let's go to the bad points in this EP. Honestly, the only problem I found was in High Five. And that's because I feel that the synths were added to the composition just to sound more welcoming, more easy listening than the other songs in this EP. Honestly, they do not add anything to the song, and I believe, at least I feel, that as a composer you usually strive to add less and impact more than adding more to impact less. In this case, I feel that the instrumental already had so much going on in there that the synths were barely a feature or barely memorable. So I would have taken those away from the song, and otherwise it would be a really fun one. It's not my favorite in this EP, which is the second point. High Five is actually the weakest song in this EP. Not to say that it is bad, but when we have so many good songs in an EP, there's one that will instantly stand out for not being as good as those. And in this case, High Five is the song that I feel is the least impressive going on in this EP. Not to say that it isn't good, because it is good, but in comparison with the other songs, it is lackluster. Would I recommend you to listen to this EP? Of course I would recommend you to listen to this EP. My favorite song in this EP, let me check the name so that I do not have this wrong, it's Kanjoron. I'm going to say this out there, I love rock music, but space disco has found a place in my heart as of late, and Kanjoron is so good. I love a good R&B type of song, and especially if it is paired up with a down-tempo space disco instrumental like it is in this song, with those stylish atmospheric synths going on in the background, that punchy bass line going on in there that will really add a lot of bounce to the song and make you want to dance along. Well, it's really hard to not enjoy this song, and I found myself loving this a whole lot. Of course, at the same time, this shows a completely different side to Shoya Chiba, a danceable side, a more pop-driven side, which I was not expecting, but I was in a way anticipating that King Records would do something like this in his first EP, because King Records is, or King Amusement Creative is all about pop music, not necessarily rock, so he would have to have a dance tune. This is a dance tune, and I do enjoy dance tunes like this, so if King Amusement Creative wants more of these in Shoya Chiba's music, I'm all in. If he actually ends up going the route of strong EDM pop, not so much. But thankfully there's nothing like that in this EP. Kanjoron is really the song that stole the show for me. But I also want to, and of course Kanjoron was the song that stole the show for me, and that's because, adding to all of that I said earlier, it's also a song in which Shoya Chiba is performing in a completely different style. It's not a rock style per se, it's more an R&B style of performance. It's slower paced, it's more about legato and being melodic throughout. It has a layer of maturity in this case, so I do love this song a whole lot, and honestly, I'm talking right now and I want to put my headphones on and listen to this song yet again, so this goes to show that this is a really cool song. Another song that I love a whole lot is Wish. This is the song that honestly made me wish that some Seiyuu artists would try more post-rock and shoegaze rock. This is a song that has a lot of effects going on the guitars. There's a sort of a melancholy and distance going on in there. You can feel that this is an emotional song from start to finish. There are really strong influences of shoegaze rock, post-rock and emo rock in this song. And those are especially noticeable when the chorus kicks in, because the song sounds quite quiet in the start, as it starts with the acoustic guitars, and then something else is happening, but what happens in the chorus you are not expecting, especially on a first listen. So I found these to be really cool, and honestly, these are music genres that I love a whole lot, and up until now only Soma Saito was doing those, so having Shoya Chiba adding a lot of emotion to a song like this and betting on something that is more niche, which is post-rock and shoegaze, and making those work. Once again, those two music genres work really well together. Effects and the slower melancholic style of rock, yeah, they work together really well, and they need a lot of power on the vocals, not necessarily to scream, but to add emotion. They need an emotional range that some Seiyuu artists can and have really well developed, and in this case Shoya Chiba does have that really well developed. So this is another song that gets my shout as one of the best in this EP. Honestly, Kanjoron and Wish are the two best songs in this EP, but everything else is actually amazing. I'll Be is my favorite song that is penned by Shoya Chiba, which is really a good indication that this is the best start you could get in an EP. But Blessing is also a really interesting song and fun to listen to. I gave it full marks, and I will give it them again because this is a really fun song. It is pop rock, fast pop rock that is engaging, fun, that really makes you want to be a part of that performance. So it is really good. And I believe these are my quick thoughts about Shoya Chiba's Blessing, his first EP. I love this EP a whole lot. The review is already on the website, so go check it in detail if you want to dive a bit more into each song, the intricacies of the composition, and even the vocals by Shoya Chiba. This is really an outstanding solo debut. Honestly, after Kentito's solo debut a couple of years ago, this is the best solo debut I've found. This is really one solo debut in which the singer, in this case Shoya Chiba, is really confident, mature, and with a charisma that not many solo artists have. I'm not even going to talk about if they are rookies or veterans. There are very few male Seiyuu solo artists that have this amount of charisma and confidence right from the start. It is unbelievable. So really give it a listen if you can. Shoya Chiba's Blessing may be available right now on your favorite streaming platform, so go check it. And if you want to actually support him directly and make sure that he has a successful career, make sure to purchase the CD. It's available on CD Japan and Amazon Japan. You can find links in the description below. And let me know what you thought about this CD, and if you enjoyed it, which song is your favorite, and what would you like to listen to Shoya Chiba performing next. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon.